you have any like suggestions on how much intro this week? You want upbeat, low key, sad?
I think
romantic.
I want to see romantic.
Okay.
You get into character.
Shut up! Why did you have to ruin it?
Sorry, I'm narrating for the podcast listeners.
Think about your mom. Make it easier.
Okay, good. She's in the house. You were just talking to her. Wow, that's a really different body language. Go from the top.
Hello.
Stop! Wait. Sorry.
Wait, okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hello. And welcome back to the Cade and Joaquin Talk at You podcast. It's so great to have you back with us for another fabulous episode. But you know why this episode is so great? It's because you're here listening to it.
I knew you were going to say that, and it makes me feel gross. On the inside, it makes me feel like I'm covered.
Are you going
in
to put
tar.
the beginning part of this?
Absolutely. I don't know. Well, we'll see in the edit. You'll be there for the edit because we have.
We'll be there for the edit. Yeah.
This is the first time that we've ever done it without a week or at least a couple days in advance.
Yeah.
This podcast comes out tomorrow.
You'll be all right.
We'll be fine. We just have to sit and edit. You're gonna sit with me.
I'm gonna sit with you. Just observe.
It's not that hard.
It's not.
You could literally do it. I could teach you some editing things while we're there. Anyway, welcome back to the Cade and Joaquin podcast this week, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I don't know.
You just killed my whole intro.
Welcome back to the
Yes!
Ladies, if you ever wanted a man.
Shouldn't it be like this? You open the leg?
No, you want to make them see less. You want to have them question, like, oh, what's going on in there?
Dude, my feet stink.
Great. I'm glad.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's just because, I worked all. I didn't change my socks. I just put this on and left.
Mm-hmm. I admittedly, I was keeping information from you because about 10 minutes ago, you said, why do you still have your shoes on? It's because I feel uncomfortable filming this podcast.
I knew that.
Shoes
I
on.
thought that was why. I just wanted to ask.
I just wanted to wait until the podcast to tell you, even though that's the weirdest piece of...
though?
I can't
We
tell
did
you.
7 years of fucking...
Yeah, but people weren't seeing me all the time.
They don't see your legs.
Yeah.
Just take them off.
I do not
Cade,
want to.
liberate yourself.
I didn't wear shoes last week.
Liberate your dogs.
I didn't wear shoes last week. I just was in socks.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
It was.
Did I listen to it?
No. And Isaac told me, this is your worst episode.
Is it?
I mean...
The vibes are kind of off.
The vibes were off, but the podcast is doing great.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good.
Like,
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing and watching, whatever, rating.
5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We're so many places. But yeah.
And YouTube,
last
obviously.
week the vibes were off for some
The vibes
reason.
are kind of off.
I don't know what it was.
We were both kind of hostile, it felt like.
I think we were both in a bad mood for some reason.
Yeah.
And
the
I
vibes
can't
were just
explain
off.
why. Yeah. But this
Afterwards was fine. We were chilling.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening with the podcast in particular.
Everyone has an off day.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, I wanted to bring up something with you that I did earlier today. I had gone to the bathroom, and I was like, you know what? I was looking at my little guy down there, my little downstairs man, my man in the trenches, and I said,
looking at what?
I was looking at my little man in the trenches.
Oh.
And I thought, you're really drooping down today, guy. So I decided to start peeing, and then I put both of my hands on my hips like Superman, and continued to pee. And I was like, this is the life, my guy. Have you ever done this? It's a real little kid thing to do. Like, I will see kids in public. They do that full, like, generally like lift up their shirt and have their pants down on there. But there's also the kids who are confident.
Not really, no. I always kind of feel more comfortable holding it because I'm afraid that, like, if I let go, there'll be a really strong stream, and then it's like a firefighter hose that's like.
Well, that's why I didn't go in hands off.
Well, that's why I feel like all of a sudden there's like, you ever get like a second wind when you're going to pee?
Yeah,
and it just like picks up a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what I'm afraid of.
And then it's like a fucking riptide.
It's just like. You're like,
and then the smell is there.
Yeah,
it's fuming.
to clean it.
That is the one. There's so many like negatives to having a vagina, including like having to go on your period. But I feel like getting to just always sit down to pee is a bit better than. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Excuse me.
It's a bit better than. I mean, it's convenient, but.
Motherfucker, if you don't say it, I'm gonna fall into the depths of hell.
God bless your soul.
What do you say when someone sneezes?
God bless you.
Thank you. Fucking hey.
I thought I said it.
No, you didn't say anything. You just kept talking about your thing. I was like, what?
Whenever I think about doing the bless you, I think about the scene in Jurassic Park where they are sleeping on a tree for the night, and the Brachiosaurus comes over to them, and then it sneezes all over the girl, and she's like, ew, and then the kid crawls up, he goes, God bless you. That's funny. And I'm always like, that's the funniest movie part ever.
Let me not say that. You're gonna get upset.
You don't like Jurassic Park?
I don't not like it. I like it, but I don't put it up there in that upper echelon of movies for me.
I think Jurassic Park is one of the greatest blockbusters ever made.
I think it's good. I just don't. I like it. Like I'm not gonna be watching it and be bored and think it's mid. I just think it's good. You know. I think it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's a sensational film.
It's something really funny.
Sure.
So yesterday at the gym, I was there and I was doing crunches on the floor. Towards the end of my workout, and I wore your Clockwork Orange shirt that you gave to me, right?
Yes. Because it's literally 4 sizes too big for me.
I love how big it is. That's what she said. And I was.
Were you expecting me to do it?
No, I just kind of paused and realized what I said. And I was doing the crunches, and some dude was like saying some other shit like you could go over there to like this little machine and just do it over there instead of like taking turns. Because me and my friend Jack were taking turns doing the crunches on the mat. And I was like, yeah, that's what we usually do, but we were trying to mix it up and like whatever, right?
Right.
And then he saw I was wearing the Clockwork Orange shirt. He was like, is that a good movie? And I was like, yeah, it's a really good movie. You know, like it's a Kubrick film, so I feel like.
You pulled a me, didn't you?
Yeah, I pulled a you. And I was like, it's a Kubrick film, and I feel like no matter what, it's going to be a pretty decent movie. I feel like it's definitely his best. Mm-hmm. He's like, what do you expect from it? Like, what happens? Like, well, it's a fantastic movie. The cinematography and all, like, the acting and the writing is all flawless, right? But it's freaky. It's a freaky movie, right? Yeah. Some fucked up shit happens. And to myself, the whole time, I was like, I've never seen this fucking movie. I've never seen this movie.
That's the best thing.
But, like, it's all... You can say the same things about a movie, and it's going to work no matter what. Especially someone who hasn't seen it. Because if someone's seen it and they're asking for your opinion on it, then they're going to realize you haven't seen it. But
well, my favorite thing is when I know facts about the film.
Yeah, I knew some facts. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, it's really like dark and like it's fantastic the way the movie is, but not fantastic in like the story itself, because the story itself is terrifying. Yeah. You know?
And that's what makes it so good.
Exactly. And I was like, it has all Kubrick's like signature things in it. It's kind of when you really saw him start getting his footing, like how certain shots he uses that are very like Kubrick, and like you definitely see that happening in this film. And that's basically what I was saying.
I like that you had this whole conversation with. I'm very proud of you.
Some random dude.
I like that this happened.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm gonna go watch it. And he also suggested I think Blue Sky or Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky. Yeah,
Tom Cruise. He said that was pretty good. So yeah, I'm really excited for fucking Top Gun, man.
I've heard very good things about Top Gun.
I'm so excited for Top Gun. I think, did we talk about it a couple episodes ago? They shot it?
We didn't talk about it on the podcast. We definitely
Do you know how?
I know how they shot one part of I don't know on the new one, but
all the in-jet stuff in the new film are in jets. So the actors are actually like in fighter jets.
I thought you were talking about on the original Top Gun.
No, sorry.
Do you know how they filmed some of that? To make it have the shake that they needed to get, they couldn't just do it handheld, because there's a certain level of kind of ebb and flow to that makes it have a bit of a not even predictability, but the shakiness just doesn't look right. So what they did was they put a drill, like electric drill, on the camera with a piece of wood that wasn't all the way symmetrical. So when it went like this, it was like hitting the camera, making it shake.
That's smart. That's really smart, actually.
Yeah, and it cost like $5.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually really cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, but for the new one, man, like I seen the trailer. I'm like, this looks fucking real. I'm like, this has to be like LED screens, whatever.
Well, Tom Cruise is a crazy person.
Yeah, but then I thought about that, and then I saw the behind the scenes. Like, no, dude, they're fucking in these jets. Like, they got 6 or 8 IMAX cameras right in front of all like the actors, and they had to train all the actors and actresses to like handle the G-forces. And they show you like the before when they go on their first like flight, whatever. And there's a lot of them just like passing out, like throwing up, and then they show you like later scenes kind of, and they're like in that motherfucker, like really doing it. I think that's so cool.
It's so cool. I say what you want about Tom Cruise, the man knows how to make an entertaining film.
He does. I would always be ready for a Tom Cruise film.
You're gonna have fun at the movies
no matter what. Unless it's
The Mummy?
Yeah, I think it was The Mummy. That was fucking ass.
That was not a good film.
Yeah, because that was a lot of CGI.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of Tom Cruise doing.
There wasn't
cool
a lot
shit.
of Tom Cruise getting to do Tom Cruise. Did you see that Tom Cruise reportedly goes to see every single movie released at the movie theater?
He's lying.
But he goes in a disguise.
He's so lying.
I believe him. I believe him because he's Tom Cruise.
That's true.
My favorite part about it was both the meme about him dressing up and people like showing different costumes that he would have worn. And there was one tweet where it was like, confirmation that Tom Cruise has seen Morbius. It was so funny to me. Speaking of Morbius, thing I wanted to do on this
Good
podcast, Joaquin.
segue.
Thank you. I don't know how we got there.
I don't know either. Tom Cruise. Leave it to Tom, man.
Leave it to Tom. He can
Leave it to
He
Tom.
can bring you all over the place. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of cryptids. I like the idea of cryptids, which are monsters. And I think that what a cryptid is, for everyone who doesn't know, is a monster-esque thing like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster that is proposed to exist within the real world.
So it has to be one single entity?
No, I think it can be like a species.
Okay, it's like a skinwalker?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what skinwalkers are.
Mm-mm.
We could go into that later. I can show you a really fucking freaky video from that.
I would love that.
I
want to see that.
I can show you now. I kind of want to show you now, but you want to go to your thing, so I won't disrespect that time of yours.
So I wanted to thank you. I appreciate that. You freak me out when you do that because I'm afraid you're gonna break the mic, but then I'm also afraid you're gonna break your teeth on the mic.
That's a little padding.
It's padded, but within the padding is metal. Anyway, I thought it would be fun.
What if it was just tinfoil?
I thought you were gonna say, "What if I just put all of my fingers all the way through?" And you were like, "What metal?" And I was like, "What happened?"
Sorry.
I wanted to.
Did you know? I'm kidding.
I found an article on a website called Mental Floss by Paul Anthony Jones back in 2015.
Oh, that guy. That's a dude. That name is into that shit.
This man is either into this shit or the Zodiac Killer. It's a list of 16 cryptids that might or might not exist. And I thought it would be fun to go through this list and both of us, being expert cryptozoologists as that we are, say for certain, based off of the information here, if they're real.
I feel like we could do this pretty accurately.
I think we're going to do a great job. Would you like to... are you ready?
Yeah.
The first one. Ahool. Ahools are... I don't know. It's A-H-O-O-L, so I'm saying ahool.
Ahool, yeah.
Literally, the names are going to get worse. I'm just telling you from here. Ahools are enormous carnivorous bats that are said to inhabit the rainforest of Java in Indonesia. Oh, Isaac's calling. Welcome to the podcast, Isaac!
Hey!
Hey!
Hello?
How are you? Oh, okay, bye. Great.
Anywho.
Guest spot from Isaac there. Believed to have a wingspan in excess of 10 feet, making them roughly the same size as a condor. Is that possibly... do condors have 10-foot wingspans?
I don't know what a condor looks like.
I don't think I thought it was like a buzzard.
Are
condors extinct? Ahools are said to be covered in thick brown or black fur like fruit bats, but unlike bats have long, powerful legs and claws and are supposedly capable of pouncing on and snatching up live prey, including humans. This is like Man Bat from Batman.
No, I don't think this one's real.
I don't think this one's real.
It's too big.
It's too big. It's in a rainforest where if you're flying, you benefit from being small.
I initially thought could have been made sense just because it's in fucking Indonesia.
The only thing, there's the fox bat, which is an enormous bat that I've seen in real life because I've been to zoos. Mm-hmm. Those fuckers are big. I can imagine the ahool here was maybe a mistaken fox bat that just got really close.
That makes sense.
But we're going to say confirmed the ahool is bomb, not real.
Not confirmed then.
Confirmed to not be real. Denied realism.
Yes.
I should have probably said this before we went in.
That was like a double negative what you did.
Denied realism?
No, you said like confirmed to not be real.
It's confirmed to denied to be real.
Would that be a double negative?
Confirmed to denied is, but I don't think what initially was a double negative.
Yeah, that's what you said initially. Confirmed to deny.
Confirmed to not be real is different than confirmed to denied to be real.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite based off the definition of cryptid going into this? Do you have a favorite cryptid that you know of, like Bigfoot or the Mothman or the Genaldushi? That one's from Ben 10, I think. It is.
No, not really. I don't think about cryptids often. They don't pique my interest.
I don't think about them often.
Skinwalkers.
What is a skinwalker?
We'll get into that later if you want to keep doing this, because that's going to be like a long thing we talk about.
Okay, then let's go through. This one is the Akakorikamaku.
Huh?
Akakorokamahui.
Akakurukami. Kamui.
I'm so sorry for our pronunciation here. Yeah, this is a really it's a really hard one.
Just the way I said that was kind of fucked up. Oh,
it's Japan.
It's Japan.
Oh, jeez, they're coming back. The native Ainu people of Japan have long believed that Volcano Bay off the south coast of Hokkaido is home to an enormous octopus.
Hold up. Let me see what that place is called. I think it's Hokkaido.
Hokkaido?
Yeah.
Off of Hokkaido. Sorry for pronunciation. I don't speak Japanese.
Hokkaido just didn't seem like
sounds like a medical
like
condition.
Japanese.
That sounds like something like your Jewish grandfather's like, oh, you got some Hakkadia in your chutzpah today. Anyway, I'm just going to believe this one's real because it's a big octopus.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Altamaha. Altamaha.
Yeah. Is it related to something that laughs?
I don't know. Let's see. I didn't read these beforehand. I just thought it would be fun. The Altamaha is a 20 to 30 foot long river monster with large flippers and a seal-like snout that is said to inhabit the mouth of the Altamaha River near Darien, Georgia. Not Georgia, America.
Oh, okay.
It's like, this is like The Host, the Bong Joon-ho film, where there's a big fucking thing in the river.
I was thinking of River Monsters. The show
with
on
that
Nat
guy,
Geo.
yeah.
Or Planet.
Isaac loves rivers monsters.
Really?
Yeah, I in fucking elementary school, dude. I remember there's one episode he did about the alligator gar. Hot fucking damn was I scared of an alligator gar for a lot of my life.
You know, I don't think it's real, that show. I think it's mostly fake.
Most shows like that are fake, but
have you seen that show about like Beast Hunters or whatever? It's like those dudes that go after Bigfoot.
of course that's fake.
No, but it's like they go after monsters and like that's really fake, right? But I saw a clip a couple days ago on TikTok and this guy fell into a pit, right?
A Bigfoot pit?
I don't know. And they're like, Dale! And then this big guy, like the bigger guy of the group, right?
Can you scooch back a little bit just so you're not like
shit,
right
I'm
in
sorry,
my camera?
sorry.
It's okay.
I'm kind of a lot in your camera. No matter what I do, I'm like in it.
It's okay. I just like your whole body being there. I was like, we should not have it be that so that there's a reason to cut between cameras.
And he just decides, you know what? My homie just fell in there. I'm going to dive head first into this pit. And that's what he did.
Well, that's a good friend.
Yeah. Would you do that for me?
If you told me there was nothing to be scared about in the pit, yes.
Well, no, I just fell in. Would you
Is
dive?
it a slide?
No, it's a pit.
It's not like a Goonies
You don't
pit.
see it. Like I fall into it.
I wouldn't.
Would you? No, the question is, would you dive head first into it to save me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do it I wouldn't be like, oh, Joaquin has fallen into a pit. Time for me to also fall into this pit.
That's how quick that guy did it.
No, that's not what I would do. I'd be like, oh, fuck. And then I would call out to you. If you didn't respond, that's when you go in the pit.
But I think would make more sense that I assume Isaac would be with us.
If Isaac is with us, he's not letting me go in the pit.
But you would hold your legs.
Oh, yeah, he could hold my legs.
That's what I would do. If Isaac fell in, that would be our plan.
That's our plan.
I dive in because I'm longer.
Uh-huh.
You hold my legs.
I hold you up. And that's why it's going to be better if one of us falls in the pit. And Isaac can come up with the plan.
That's a fucking fail-proof plan, dude.
Yeah, but the pit could have monsters in it. We don't know what's going to happen.
We're going to find out one way or another, right?
I'm skipping ahead to the Jersey Devil. I believe this one because it's New Jersey.
Is it just some cracked out dude named like Michael?
It's supposed to be a horse. This one I know about. I've heard about the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is a cryptid said to live in the Pine Barrens region of New Jersey. According to legend, the creature was the unwanted 13th son of one of the state's earliest settlers, and it turned into a horse from there. That's a weird jump. Oh, you had a baby boy? Horse time. It's like Animorphs. Mother Leeds, who offered her son to the devil on his birth in 1735 because she and her husband couldn't afford to raise another child.
You had fucking 13 of them, dude. What do you expect?
And back then, I feel like you could have figured something out. You could have had one of the other ones look after
Put
him.
him out in the fields, man.
Ever since then, hundreds of reported sightings of grotesque two-legged hooved monster with sheep-like head and large scaly wings have been reported in the Pine Barrens, including one famous incident in the winter of 1909 when a long trail of hooved footprints crossing under fences and over walls and rooftops mysteriously appeared in the snow one night. Now, here's the thing. With this cryptid, I believe in the cryptid because it's New Jersey and anything can happen there because it's like Oz, but scarier.
That's questionable.
I believe that this person probably gave their son to the devil. I don't think it's connected.
I don't like how recent it is. 1909
No,
is
this
recent.
fucking one, most of these cryptids I think are around and kicking.
1909, that's recent for me.
There's
If they would have said 1832, then it would have been like, okay, maybe.
I'm going to skip around a bit more. This one's just called Momo, and it caught my eye because it is called Momo. Momo. Short for Missouri Monster, is a mysterious ape man similar to Bigfoot. So probably just a Bigfoot. I'll believe in a big. I don't know.
Mm.
Do you believe in a Bigfoot?
Nope.
I don't believe in a Bigfoot
Nope.
either. There's other cryptids I don't really believe in them, but I could be swayed with evidence. Mothman, admittedly, I could be easily swayed.
Mothman's fucking scary.
Mothman's scary as shit.
You know what's pretty cool about that? Fallout 76, like the open world online version of Fallout, is based in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And they had a whole expansion about Mothman.
I want to go to that Mothman town.
Mothman is freaky.
Mothman's a freaky fucking thing.
There's like some cryptids that are like, yeah, this thing happened, man. But there's like a lot of people like, no, I saw that fucker.
No,
Like,
yeah.
you go out in the woods at night, you'll see those eyes.
You'll see Mothman.
That shit's freaky.
That's freaky shit.
Yeah.
That's why Mothman's cool. And also, the best thing about Mothman, he's localized.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave. He's really settled down. Bigfoot's fucking traveling the country.
Yeah, Bigfoot just walks.
Mothman has a home. He's chilling.
He has a grocery store he goes to.
He's probably going to the local Aldi's all the time.
He's paying taxes.
He is. Yeah.
He has to.
I think Mothman, though scary, respects the government.
Yeah.
The only other one that on this list that really caught my eye was the Yowie. Because I remember learning about the Yowie.
I know this one.
I would
think
believe
it's Yahweh.
I don't know if
Let me see.
it's
That's
Y.
Yowie. Yeah. That's like something Tom would say from Tom and Jerry when he gets like his tail.
Yowie. Yeah. The only reason
That was the other guy.
Jerry.
No, what you just did was more like the guy with the guns with the big long beard.
Oh, Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam.
That's because I can do a Yosemite
that's
Sam.
what you did.
I believe in a Yowie because I believe that a Bigfoot, if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be Australia. I'll just keep it to that.
Yeah, not fucking North Dakota.
Not North Dakota. The Bigfoot's not going to be interested. Like, the creatures that have evolved out of Australia are more likely to be fucking Bigfoots and the such.
I agree.
But now, I would like to talk about skinwalkers.
All right.
What is that?
So, okay, from my base knowledge, right,
Mhm.
a skinwalker is like a Native American thing that is, I think it's like someone who's dead who takes up possession of an animal, but they're all white and like very just
Kind of like a Wendigo?
kind of, but they speak human, like
They speak
human. English, sorry, here, but they speak the language of people that's around them. Right?
Okay. Like the language that they knew when they died.
I guess so. Yeah, we're gonna look up what a skinwalker is, and we're gonna get the skinwalker.
Is this thing considered a cryptid?
I don't know. In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise himself as an animal. The term is never used for healers.
Okay, so
there was a movie released last year.
There's a
with
movie?
it.
Is
Yeah.
it Antlers?
No, Skinwalker.
Oh.
There's not really obviously an image of a skinwalker. There's like ideas, right? Like drawn things.
Yes.
So, but basically the idea of
But you said earlier there was a video.
there's a video of not one being seen, but they're ideas. They try to lure you out
Mm-hmm.
and obviously kill you, right? This is a TikTok.
Okay.
But this is a guy from like who. It's probably loud for a second. Who like has a ranch out in somewhere in like the.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. That's what I've heard of him.
No, he's not a ranch. He's not Skinwalker Ranch. He has a place.
Oh, this is different?
Yeah, and he was, I guess, walking out with his horse. And what makes this freaky is how his horse reacts. That's why it seems so believable.
Well, you can train a horse to act. We got to make sure we narrate over this just because people aren't watching. People can't see the video.
Well, I can send you the video and they can put it over.
I can put it in the video version of the podcast, but a lot of our audience is audio listeners.
I'll like describe it. So
yeah.
this guy and his horse are walking down this road, right?
It says, trust your horse.
Yeah. Just walk, and then you also hear this. It takes a while.
Yeah, he's just walking down the road still. Nothing much is really happening yet. That hay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the horse does not like that. The horse is completely running away.
Well, you can. So it's just the fact of how he's in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and someone's yelling "Hey!" And B, the fucking horse, like that doesn't look like the horse just like acting. That
Yeah.
horse looked fucking genuinely, because you see the horse stops.
And
the
it's
first
like,
time.
what the fuck?
Then the second time it hears it and it gets freaked out and does like the little, and then it turns away on its own because you kind of see like the guy doesn't move.
Yeah.
The horse turns away on its own and starts going.
Mhm.
That's fucking scary, man.
It's not that scary to me because it could just be someone who's in the woods or it's like their
Well,
property.
he's in the middle of nowhere, dude. Like it's open space and
Yeah.
there's no like you don't see where this voice is coming from.
And it does sound like it's pretty close. I mean, I know that he said there's nothing added, but it is easy to fake.
I trust the instincts of a horse
More than the
or
instincts
any
of a
animal
human.
because those
Yeah.
are like real instincts. They're not like
Those not,
you know what I mean?
They're not fucking fake instincts like they put in the GMO
Yeah, it's
fruits.
like when a plant, not a plant, what the fuck? When a pet gets scared, like when my cat all of a sudden starts staring like down my hallway or something, I get little heebie-jeebies because like what the fuck are you staring at? You know?
Yeah.
This guy showed this video to the local Native American chief, and he's like, "Oh, that was a skinwalker," because it's native to their tribe, I guess.
Right.
It's like a thing that they've dealt with multiple times, you know. And I had someone at my work actually who has had an encounter with like this really fucking weird like albino deer.
Holy shit! One time I had an encounter with a really weird looking
white,
albino thing.
but a lot of red to it too.
It was a pinkish white. Let me tell you, this was when we were filming a Parade Float, our hit film. I had mistakenly driven out to the place where I thought I'd put my address into the phone, but I did not. And I put an address that was an hour away from my house. So needless to say, at 3 a.m. I was pretty happy. So I'm driving back.
You called me, dude.
I knew because I knew you would still be driving.
Yeah.
Because you also live far away, but I had another hour to go, and I was like, I am upset right now. I just want to sleep. I was driving back, and I was on this country road, which is automatically scary at night because there's fucking no lights anywhere. And on the side of the road, coming up, I'm like, what is this thing? And as I get closer, it is this large white being that's like pinkish. I didn't hear it make any noises, and
You were driving.
I was driving, and it looked albino to me, but I couldn't determine if it also looked shaved. So I was looking at this creature and I was like, clearly this thing might be injured or whatever. And then it just kind of starts moving a bit too, like it might have been asleep, but I moved past it and I keep going. I keep like looking behind me. I'm like, why did that thing give me so much fucking wig? Cause it was this homunculus of terror.
Skinwalker, man.
It was a weird thing.
This girl at my work, she was driving home one night, and she lived in a cul-de-sac, and all of a sudden she saw this thing in the middle of her cul-de-sac. It's kind of the same description you got, right? But while she was driving, it just stared at her. So she pulled into her driveway, still in a cul-de-sac, and she kind of fucking freaked out, right?
Right.
Because like there's this thing just but it's staring at her. She's in her car, and she's like, I'm afraid to like leave my car right now, right? Then she built the courage to leave. The moment she gets out of her car, it starts like kind of doing like a forward motion with his body
Towards her.
Dude, she fucking bolted inside her house, called her best friend and her brother, like all because her brother came out like with a gun. I think her brother came out initially with a gun to like be like, what the fuck is that, right?
Yeah.
He saw it too, and she said it was there all night.
That's not okay.
All night, right?
Did she even get to? I wouldn't sleep.
I wouldn't, dude. I don't want to think about it. But he said it was there for a while, right? And then throughout the night, she heard this really weird like howling noise. Like what else would it be from?
Yeah,
you know?
that weird fucking creature.
Yeah.
This idea reminds me of a movie called Annihilation, which is very good.
Talking about the shit, bro, gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It's a wiggy, because when you hear it from people that you trust, you kind of believe it more than just hearing it on the internet. Because there's a lot of just bullshit out there, and people being like, oh yeah, I saw aliens, look at this. And then they like hold up a picture of them in Las Vegas with someone clearly wearing an alien costume. And you're like, why do you think that's an alien? They're like, well, I put something in my butt. And you're like, well, I think that was a different exchange than you thought it was. He said, took $50 in a metal probe right in my anus. I was like, wow, I'm a new man. And the guy said, you sure are. And I was like, then I left Vegas a new man that day. That's you're like, I think you just didn't understand an interaction with a sexual worker. It's someone you know, though.
Yeah.
And
still, they can lie, but just you could tell by how they talk about it. Like, she was freaked out.
Yeah.
You know? Because she asked me the next day, like, do you know anything about, like, skinwalkers? And I was
how
like,
did she think of a skinwalker?
Because she asked, like, her friend and her brother, like, what the fuck that could have been. And I think her brother went, it could have been a skinwalker. Skinwalker is fucking weird, man.
I like the concept. It sounds very scary, and I'm into it.
I don't like it at all. It just freaks me out.
Well, from a storytelling perspective, I'm in love with it. I remember when I was in elementary school, and I was sitting in my living room one night watching the TV, and at this time I had a wolf, but I didn't at the time I didn't equate this to being the wolf.
Make this clear quick. It's not a full-bred 100% wolf. It's
mostly a wolf.
It's mostly wolf, but there's husky mixed with it. Just make it clear.
Yeah, but that fucker, she was great, and she would hunt all my friends. Anyway,
that's fucked up. I would never went to your house.
Funny.
I never would have went to your house.
I don't know why people did.
I never would have went.
But
how big?
Big. When she died, she was still bigger than me, and I was 8. The way that this was set up was I am in the room on this side of the couch, and on the opposing side of the room, there is a glass door where you could see into the backyard, but it was completely dark outside, so I couldn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
What I then proceeded to see were these two glowing eyes. And it could have just been my wolf, but I'd never seen it before, and these eyes were yellow. So I was looking at this, and I was like, now what in the fuck is that? And I remember just staring, and it like blinked at me. Like it was definitely, we were looking at each other. And all in my mind, I was thinking, this being on the other side of this glass is either my dog or some fucking monster is coming through my backyard. Now, I've had many strange experiences in my backyard. One time when I was 3, I was pretty sure I was awake and I was watching TV and there was a horse on the TV. Looked out the window. Who was outside that window? Manny the Mammoth from Ice Age. And we looked at each other. We both scream and I jolt into my parents' bed. Okay, well, I hear him stomping right off.
Did your wolf live in the backyard?
Yes, she did.
So I think if it was something, that motherfucker would have known.
She would have done something. Mm-hmm. I would have heard her attacking it. Mm-hmm. That's why I think it was her. But the next day at school, I was still thinking about it. I was like, what was that? Because
I would not be able to sleep, dude.
I think I honestly forgot about it.
I would have had to sleep with my parents.
I probably
that
did.
Sounded weird.
It didn't.
It sounded weird to me.
I was confident that this thing wasn't my dog. I remember talking to some people about it. Other fucking dumb kids. And I remember for at least several weeks of the 2nd or 3rd grade, maybe, we had formed this monster coalition in which we would discuss monsters. Isaac might remember this if I asked him about it. I kind of doubt it because it's a very foggy memory for me, but I really remember seeing those eyes and then being like, there's a fucking monster out there and it's coming to get in here.
That's terrifying. I
was actually more scared of when I saw Manny the Mammoth from Ice Age, but I was freaked out.
I've never had any kind of freaky experiences like that. The only one I kind of think about is I was home alone. I'm never home alone usually, like at night. Mm-hmm. I just don't like that shit. And I was home alone one night. I live on the 3rd floor, right?
Yes.
And I have a cat. And I was sitting on my computer, and I was already kind of like pretty fucking on edge. Mm-hmm. Because I'm home alone, and I just don't like it. Big house, right?
Yeah.
And for some fucking reason, dude, my cat just kept staring towards like the stairs of my. Just I'm on the 3rd floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just kept, and I was getting pissed off because like you're scaring me like genuinely, and I'm like, I don't like this, you know. So I had a gun with me, dude. I did rounds of. I like swept that house like 5 or 6 times throughout that night, dude. I was fucking scared, man.
Right? Yeah.
Because like it's cat and cats stare, but she's never just like sat there and stared at something for a long period amount of time. You know, it fucking freaks me out, man. Also, sorry, I've never been home alone before like that for like 2 or 3 days. You? Like last year.
Oh wow,
this was last year.
This is recent.
I just don't like being home alone
at
night. It fucking freaks me out. You know, going to sleep was I locked my doors. Yeah, it just made me. It was just hard to go to sleep.
When I'm home alone at night, which happens often, I make sure all the bottom doors that get into my house are locked tight. And then what I also do is I lock my bedroom doors and I place my laundry basket and a space heater in front of the 2 doors that come into my bedroom.
Makes sense.
Because if you walked in, one door swings open so it would knock that over. The other one, I don't think it's big enough so you would just kind of trip over it and then I'd be like, okay, time to beat the shit out of whoever that is.
That's why I said a gun.
Oh, dude, you want to hear something that's going to freak you the fuck out?
I don't know if I want to.
How
bad is this?
It's going to freak you out. I know that it's going to freak you out. One night,
oh my God,
a couple months ago.
I might have to sleep with you tonight.
Okay. A couple months ago, Shogun and I both had a dream. Not the same dream, but a dream that we woke up and then we both had this feeling, I don't know if it was at the same time of the night, that something was in our room. And I looked over and I could have sworn there was something there and then I like blinked and I was fine. I was like looking around, I was like, what the fuck? Then the other night, this sucked and I think it was just a dream, but then it broke into reality for me because I was waking up from this nightmare. I was asleep and then I had this thought that someone or something was trying to get into my bed with me, and the fucking fear
dude, fuck this, man.
Was so primal.
Fuck this.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because the problem with this dream is I truly couldn't tell at what point I was waking up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in this stage where I was like, something's fucking trying to get into this bed with me. And I was like looking all around, scanning my bedroom, like moving my sheets,
Lights
barely
on or
going.
just
The
darkness?
lights were off because I was still fucking scared to move. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, what is here? What is here that's going to fucking kill me? And then eventually I turn on my light. I like walk around. I go into my bathroom. I'm looking. There's nothing. I'm like, okay. And I go back to sleep.
Dude, fuck that, man.
It sucked.
I wouldn't really go back to sleep. I would have turned the TV on.
It took me a bit.
That shit. Fuck, dude. I don't like that.
It really gave me wig. It was the one where I felt like there was a person watching me sleep was admittedly less scary until my mom told me that she had that exact same thing happen that night.
No, that reminds me of this Netflix movie. Have you seen Gerald's Game?
I've heard of Gerald. That's the one where that lady's tied to the bed,
Yeah,
right?
because her and her husband are gonna like have some sort of weird sex, right? And she's like chained up, and then he dies of a heart attack having too much Viagra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's locked there, like she's stuck there, right? But the thing is, like, she's starting to hallucinate, so he's like awake and like talking to her and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he's alive, so he's alive talking to her. There's a point in the movie where it's at night, right? And she all of a sudden like starts seeing this dude standing in the corner
Mm-hmm.
of the room, and that shit, bro. Fucking
pretty
dude,
scary.
it's fucking scary, man.
Can I tell you something weird that
I
I've
don't like
noticed
this.
about you?
I don't like this theory of this podcast. This episode
This episode's
scares
freaking
me.
you
Yeah.
out. Well, this is a bit different. You reference Gerald's Game all the time.
Do I?
You've talked about it on several different occasions.
Have I?
You really?
I've only seen it once.
I know, which is weird because you truly
Well,
bring
I
it up a
saw-
lot.
I saw because I was trying to find a movie to watch with my friends a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just one of the movies, and we talked about because we saw it together.
Yeah.
It's fresh in my memory right now, but it's a freaky fucking movie, man.
You've brought it up a lot to the point where I'm like, oh, it's so interesting how.
Have I really?
I mean, it's been enough that I'm like, this time saying it. I'm like,
I thought this was the
dang.
first time I ever talked about
You've
it.
talked about it at least 7 other times.
What the fuck?
It's a surprising amount of Gerald's Game that you've been sharing with me.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Because I must have shared it when I watched it. Had to have
I
done
think
that.
so.
What the fuck? Really?
You've talked about it a lot.
I don't believe that.
It might not be 7, but it's enough that this time my brain was like, Joaquin is talking about this movie all the time.
I can't believe that. That's just, I don't feel like I've talked about it that much.
Mm-hmm. What was, when you were little, what was something that really fucking gave you wig? Because I remember when I was in middle school, me and Isaac and our friend Ross had found this video of these people who were kind of recreating The Grudge. And fucking for years, The Grudge was my worst nightmare.
It was Chucky.
Really?
I was
Chucky?
at Taekwondo camp for a summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
and these kids were like showing me the trailer for it, and it fucking freaked me out, man. I would just like, it freaked me out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Chucky scared the shit out of me for a while.
Interesting.
I never really I'm kind of scared of everything, like that's like horror related. So I don't think there's really one
Mm-hmm.
that's like the big one for me.
When I was little, I could not deal with horror, and as I've gotten older, it's become one of my favorite genres.
Fucking hate it.
I love horror. I love
Hate
a good
it.
horror film.
I do not like watching horror films.
There's something about the base instinct of getting scared that I'm a big fan of.
My friend likes. He said, "Don't you want to feel your heart pumping and those like goosebumps?" I'm like, no.
I also, admittedly, I think I have a different stance because I'm watching it from a filmmaking perspective as well. So if I'm watching something and it scares me, I'm like, oh shit, because I love that it happened. And then immediately afterwards, instead of being like, oh yeah, that was good, I think that, but then I'm like, how did they construct that scare to make it as good as possible? Or like, how do they make this effect?
I think for me, it's just kind of like, bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I felt actual fear was I was watching this F1 race, and I kind of touched on it last episode because you kind of made fun of it, but it kind of fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Bahrain last year, right? And the driver, Romain Grosjean, if you haven't seen the footage, look it up because it's fucking crazy, man. He got in an accident on the second straight after the first 2 corners because he this car was cutting over and he was kind of just going. I think he was cutting in front of this car, and they touched, and he went into the like the Armco barriers, like like the barriers on the side of a highway.
Yeah.
Went into it, car exploded. I mean, like, into a ball of flames.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a moment where I watched that because all of a sudden you're seeing down the straight, all of a sudden you see this big explosion in the background, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment where you think, I just saw like a guy just die, like into a ball of flames, you know? Because they wear fire resistant like clothing.
An explosion is an explosion at the end of the day.
It was like, because also there hasn't been a real death like that in Formula One, I think, since like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
There's been one in 2011, but that was just because of a freak accident, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, actually, no, sorry, there was the death in 2019, but that was more of a freak accident, right? But seeing it live, and you really just go, like, it's disbelief. He was like, holy shit. Because there's also, like, in reality, it took 90 seconds for him to get out the car, right?
Yeah.
There's literally a whole video of him, you literally see him, the medical car pulls up, because they fucking English,
You just said fart.
They start behind the race, so if ever like a big accident like that, they're right there on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they pulls up, and all of a sudden you see this guy, like, I can show you afterwards him describing the moment for him, but I'll just say it now. He was in the car, and he goes, that was a big accident, right? Then he starts looking around and see everything's kind of orange. His feet get really hot. He's like, oh, there's a fire going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay, let me undo the buckles, right? Buckles are already undone because they kind of blew off him, I'm pretty sure, right? Something like that. And he's like, okay, I need to get out. And so he tries to pull his foot out. His foot doesn't really come, but he tries to get. My first try goes up, right, and something hits his head. He's like, okay, I'm gonna try to go this way. Something hits his head. Then he sits down. He says, and he goes, oh, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna die right now, right? Like, there's nothing I can do. And he said it's literally probably 30, 60, 90 seconds, right? Which is like that. I think it might have been even shorter. I think like 30 something. But for him, he said it felt like 2 hours because it was like so slow.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna die right now. And he said, and it was weird because he said the moment that happened, he didn't feel fear. He felt comfort. And for some reason, he named it. Like, he named death.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with his name for
Jerry?
it. No, like, this real, like, kind of like fucking freaky name, right?
Okay.
Like, he named it. And it was like, that gave him comfort, right? And so he's like, I'm going to die here. You know, this is it, right? This is going to be it. And then he said he instantly thought about his kids. And he's like, no, I can't die here.
Mm-hmm.
So then he got up a little bit more and turned like this and kind of found a way out. And the moment he gets out,
like a 75 degrees, like a corkscrew.
yeah, sorry, he turns like a little bit over, like, he turns over, and he's away from him to get out, and he's able to get out, but his foot's stuck. He's fucking yanks it out and gets out. And instantly when he gets out, there's like this fire marshal ran across the racetrack with a fucking like a fire extinguisher and started blowing it like the fucking fire. And the medical guy's like right there and just grabs him out. And you see him like just seeing him literally, I mean, dude, jump out of flames, right? And jumps over, like, hurdles the fucking, like, the barrier is one of the fucking most epic things I've ever seen in my life. So in real time, when I'm watching this happen live, no one knows for about 5 minutes what the fuck happened.
Right.
Because they're not trying to show it, you know, like, cut out of sensitivity.
Yeah.
So they're just like, all of a sudden you see all these shots of the drivers and people in the paddock, and they're all just like, cause no one knows what the fuck's going on. There's no update,
Yeah.
right?
Did they stop the race?
No, the race, it got red flagged, yeah. But it eventually restarted, right? After repaired to the barriers and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird just sitting there waiting. Like, did this guy just fucking die?
Right.
You know, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You're waiting in suspense because you know. Luckily he didn't. Right.
Yeah.
He has an awesome nickname now called the Phoenix.
That's pretty cool.
If you see the video, dude, he literally jumps out of fire. It's fucking nuts.
It's worth it.
It's worth it to an extent. Like, seeing how cool it is.
Worth it.
And
you get named the Phoenix. That's cool as
that's
shit.
cool as shit. But he has like this fucking like crazy burn on his hands now. It's fucking nuts, dude. And I was listening, I was watching this show on Netflix. They got Formula One really big in America. Excuse me, called Drive to Survive, right? It's kind of bullshit. They fabricate all like the drama and shit in it, right? But the episode on that was it was good because then it asked the drivers like, what that make you feel? Because then if you go on YouTube, you can find compilations of the drivers like instant reacting with the radio, like, what just happened? Like, is he okay? Like, what? Like, and there's one driver named Charles Leclerc who's from Monaco, and he had his godfather die in an accident in 2011 in an F1 race, and his best friend died in 2019 in an accident, right? And instantly you just hear him going, no, like, kind of like instantly kind of fucking losing it, right? Because he's like, no way, I just
was it with that tempo and like
no, yeah, literally like I mean, like, fear and sadness.
Okay, the way you said it, he was like, no.
He's like, no, what happened, right? I'm not that what happened part was the same, but you could hear it, and like, there's like fear, right? And so then they ask him like, what was it like for you to get back in the car? Because the race is going to go on, you know? Like, the show must go on. That's the big thing about Formula One. They all saying it's so hard to get back in the car after just seeing that happen, like mental fortitude you need to have to like kind of just put it away, focus back on the moment and like the race you have to do right now, and that shit just blows my fucking mind because like that takes a special kind of person to like jump back, especially the guy who crashed into him, to get back in it because he saw it literally happen in front of him, basically, that's just it's fucking nuts.
That's a lot of
balls. But that for me, that was one of like the most like fear, not like fear as like being like seeing something freaky, but like out of genuine like
what
holy shit, like like I'm not gonna like say it's equal to like big national disasters and stuff, like seeing it live happen.
I mean, there's something to be said about the mental effect of it because it's a similar thing.
Like it's like 9/11. 9/11 is a whole different thing.
That's a whole different kit and
caboodle. It
is,
but it's that seeing that it's that fear of like, holy shit, this is happening right now.
Yeah,
and just that like, or you don't know that what the fuck's like. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To where it's insane. You know? Like it's just that was hard to kind of just like go back to all right, the race is gonna happen now. And to focus on the race and because like I thought I saw someone die.
Right.
That's never happened to me before.
It's pretty intense.
It's intense. Yeah.
I don't know why, but this has reminded me of a story from when I was much younger and I was skiing. I was skiing and I loved one of my favorite things to do is go into the trees to ski because I love going into the trees. Yeah, I agree. Those
are fun.
And then I went over like a little bump that fucking sent me flying and I landed on my head. Ooh. And when when you fall, you like flinch in your face, so my eyes were closed and I opened my eyes and all I could see was white. And I moved my head, and all I could see was white.
Oh, fuck.
And I moved my head, and all I could see was white. And my first thought was, dear God, I've gone blind.
It's just funny. I imagine, like, your little self going, dear God, I am blind.
Just a 7-year-old.
Dear God, Joseph,
I'm blind.
I am blind. I had, not a scary, but, like, I went skiing, a while ago.
I wasn't, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't was covered in snow.
You ever had a yard sale?
I've never had a yard sale.
No, when you're skiing?
What?
Yard sale means
you lose all your shit.
It goes flying.
Yeah,
I was going down, and this was like probably like I think my 5th day ever skiing, and I picked it up quickly. Mm-hmm. Like I did a black diamond my 4th day,
That's
3rd or 4th
impressive.
day, right? And so I was going down like like in Squaw Valley, there's just the big hill. Mm-hmm. This goes all the way down, and then you go all the way down, and it leads to the mountain run.
Yeah, Squaw Valley is a ski resort in Lake Tahoe, California,
where they had the Winter Olympics, I think in the 70s, and that's a true fact.
I know. I just was trying to remember if it was Squaw or not, but then I was like, yeah, it is.
And I was going down that hill, and it's populated, right? So the snow is not that great. Mm-hmm. There's kind of some cuts and edges in it, and dude, I was fucking flying, right? And I was like, whoom, going between people and all kind of shit, right? Not like dangerously, but like going around them and shit. And I kind of took a turn, and my ski like hit like I'm assuming like a little like cut.
Yeah, just
in
a
it.
little niche.
Next thing I fucking know, it's just kind of like it's happened so quickly. Next thing I know, like I'm upside down right now, like in the air, kind of like I did like. I guess the best way I can describe it, like imagine like I'm going down, I take this turn, and then my leg gets caught, so I instantly kind of go over myself, my head, then land on my back, right? Mm-hmm. I'm basically like upside down, and then just boom, right, and everything's just fucking gone. I mean, like my skis are gone, like my fucking my helmet kind of like loose, my fucking like shoes kind of opened up, my what's it called, the poles are fucking gone. Like, dude, I'm just laying there, just like kind of like in Family Guy when someone falls.
Yeah,
I was just laying there like. But I wasn't in pain though, because there's so much adrenaline. I didn't actually feel any pain from it afterwards, but it's crazy how fucking fast it happened.
Yeah, you lose all your shit.
Yeah, it's just like what the fuck just happened? Like
I've told you this story before, but I want to tell it for the podcast where I was skiing with my dad, and we had taken a wrong turn that was just ended up being trees, like a huge drop into trees. So we cut across, and we were on these moguls. And for anyone who doesn't know, moguls are like a bunch of mounds of snow that have been formed so that you can kind of do jumps over.
Look them up and watch a professional do them. Fucking sick, man.
It's so cool.
They're sick.
Now, the night before, I guess it had rained a little bit, so it was
icy.
It had iced over entirely. So my dad's like, let's just go down this hill. My dad goes all the way down. No fucking problem. I'm like, I got this. 1 centimeter onto this ice. I am down. I'm falling. I lose all my shit. I'm trying to stop. I have 1 pole left. I dig it into the ground. It screeches me to a stop. I'm like, I finally stop. I slam my head back and I go, fuck. And I'm 12. This is when you don't like say fuck like that. Uh-huh. So I'm sitting on this hill. I look back behind me. My shit is up an inconvenient amount of this hill.
You had a yard sale.
I had a yard sale.
You had a yard sale.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking back up. I'm thinking, how am I ever going to do this? So I try to crawl. Because it's ice, I keep sliding right back down. So I grab a pole, the one pole I have.
So is your dad just watching you?
My dad couldn't get back up because he went all the way down.
Yeah.
So I have this one pole. I am fucking...
Do you have one ski as well?
No.
Oh, you have no skis.
I have pole only. With all of my strength, I am stabbing into this mountain and pulling myself up to get all my shit. This was a 10-minute experience.
That's fucking
I get all
amazing.
my shit. I get back together. Another centimeter. I am down again. I am down again. I lose everything again. I'm sliding down the ice. Now this time I was further down the mountain though. And what sucked was I was coming to a fucking cliff. Like not a huge one.
Yeah, but still
enough that if I dropped, I might not have broken anything, but I would have hurt. Like, would have been like, fuck.
So you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I was like, please help. So I was digging my boots into the ground. I was digging my hands.
And your dad's just watching.
My dad's like, where is he? What happened to him? I stopped.
Was this at Squaw?
I don't remember where this was. I think it was at Homewood.
Okay. I've never been to Homewood.
I stop right on the fucking edge of this cliff. I look back up. I go, fuck. I'm like, I lost everything again.
Oh my god.
Then a very nice German man, bless his heart, comes down the mountain. He grabs all my shit. He gives it to me. He gives me this nice smile. He's like, "Hey,
you almost died.
You're going to do great around the rest of this mountain." He skis off. I watch him fall down the rest of the mountain. I was like, everyone dies on this mountain.
Oh my god.
Everyone ever who goes down here dies. So at this point, I have to figure out, am I putting these skis back on? If I stand up, here's my thought. If I stand up, I am dead. I am going to fall down the rest of this mountain again, and I don't want that. So, the solution I come up with, I put all my shit back on. I sit so I can put my butt on the ends of my skis and kind of have them in the pizza slice formation so I'm working like a snowplow. I am halfway down this slope. The rest of the way is a slow, jagged ass filled with ice run down this mountain where I am in so much pain, but I refuse to stand up. But I'm going down the rest of this mountain like this, and I get to the bottom, and my dad goes, "What happened?" And I said, "You don't fucking get to ask that right now. How'd you get down this mountain?"
God.
And he was like, "I don't know, I just did." And then he skis off, and I'm like, "Fuck you. I don't want to ski today anymore."
I ever told you my Black Diamond story?
I don't think so.
Sorry, your story was great. I don't want to like diminish it.
No. This is how the podcast works.
So I was at
I need to make sure. Sorry, I'm listening.
I was at North Star, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was basically we're riding like blues, double blues, and all that kind of stuff the whole time, right? And I think some reds. But he was like, let's do a black diamond, right? I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do a black diamond, right? So the way North Star works is that so you go up the ski slope, right? And if you go, so when you get off the ski slope, not this fucking the lift. The ski lift, whatever the fuck it's called, right? You get off. If you go right, it leads to a bunch of blues and greens and some reds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go left, all black diamonds, right? So it's the backside of the mountain.
Right.
So I go right. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, it's me, black diamonds. Be ready for it, right? I go to the edge, just straight down.
It's just a drop.
Just straight down, right?
A black diamond is
and I just went, like, big gulp, right? I'm like, all right, so I can do this. He goes, right? So I see him go. I'm like, okay, I can do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking my time. I'm not going fast, but I go down it, right? I so fucking accomplished myself, right? I'm like, I just fucking did a black diamond.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's fucking go, man. You know? So down after the black diamond, it kind of leaves like this flat area, then it kind of like, it goes straight and there's like a little bit of drop, a little bit like, not even like nothing, like less than bunny slope, right? Just get you back to like the lift.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going down it. I'm probably like the second and last one, right? I'm just like, I'm fucking like, let's go, Joaquin.
You're
like,
high.
You just fucking did that shit. I take a little bit of a turn, fall over. And I laid there. I'm like, I remember going to myself, what the fuck? I just did a black diamond first try. No problem.
No problem.
This shit, that's literally just a sidewalk, basically. Oh, no, you're going to fall, dude. I was so, like, it was funny because, like, that's hilarious, you know?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Like, that's funny. But at the same time, I was fucking pissed. Yeah. I'm just like, well, how do you let that happen to yourself, you know? You just had
it's really embarrassing.
Yeah, you just had your greatest accomplishment as a skier to this point, you know? And then all of a sudden, you just fucking, like...
You ruin it.
It's like winning a 5K. not winning a fight. It's like winning like a 100-meter dash, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, fuck yeah, right? And you're just walking.
And tripping your shoelaces.
And trip over your shoelace. That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
You win like the gold medal. And everyone's like, yeah,
you did.
and you're like, oh my god, and you just fall.
And you're like, ha ha ha, he's a loser.
Yeah.
I would like to give us out on one more story about skiing that I remembered. This is my favorite, in the moment when this happened, least favorite experience of my life. As a story now.
Is this the one?
This is when I got lost in a blizzard.
Yes, okay, it's so good.
We had gone skiing, and on this day, we were at one of the higher mountains in Lake Tahoe. And for some reason...
Was it like always fucking windy?
It's pretty windy.
Was it based on a mountain peak the whole time?
Yeah, I think so.
Then you were Mount Rose.
I was not.
There's only 4.
I know there's only 4, but I don't remember where we were. We were going, and there was a surprising lack of people on the mountain that day. And we were like, all right, we're going to do one more run because a snowstorm is coming in. So let's go on the lift, and we'll go up and do this slope that we've been doing for most of the day. We go on this lift, we go up, and then we realized on this lift, this is going for a lot longer than it did the first time. We look down.
Was John Mulaney with you?
Yes, he was. We look down. We are a lot higher than we remember being last time. We end up on the tippy top of the mountain.
Oh, so that's where all the black diamonds are.
Yep, and I was 7. So I was
you know what? There's not a better time to learn.
Well, fuck. So we're like, we've never been up here before. So we go over to the map that we can see at the start of. We got off the lift.
Who are you with, by the way?
I'm with my mom and my dad. That's it. Literally, there's not even a dude manning the fucking ski lift anymore. That's how bad this snowstorm's about to be. So about, I'm going to say 10 yards away.
The next day of skiing was probably fantastic.
So good. 10 yards away, we can see a map of the whole mountain so that we can figure out the most efficient way to get down. We ski over to there, and in the time it takes us to get from the ski lift to this sign, you can no longer see the sign. So we're going.
So the storm started.
The storm had started. Mm-hmm. We're going through. We're like, oh my god, this is getting really scary. Then my mom and dad are like, okay, if we go this way, blah 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 blah. So we start trying to look down one path, and it's rock, like it's visible rocks. So we're like, okay, in a snowstorm, that's death. This is the death way. So my dad points over to a fence and says to me, Cade, do you see that fence? And I say, no. And he goes, how the fuck do you not see that fence? And I say, I can't see the fence. And he's like, look right there. I'm like, I can't see. He's like, look harder. Little did they know, the inside of my goggles had frozen over, so I couldn't fucking see anything. So my dad is done yelling at me, and he's just like, okay, just fucking ski this way. So I'm going straight, and then I'm right here. The fence is in front of my face. I'm like, oh, the fence. So we start.
Was it like an orange fence?
It was a wooden fence.
Okay.
We start going down the rest of this mountain, and my dad, we keep stopping just so we don't get separated. And so every once in a while, my dad's like, all right, Cade, ski to this tree. And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking see anything here.
They had no idea.
They had no, because I didn't know that my goggles had iced over. But eventually my dad was like, Cade, you better stop fucking around. Tell me, why can't you see? I was like, how can you see? How can you see anything currently? So he takes off my goggles and he looks at them. He's like, oh, those are iced over.
I feel like I'm like a dick now.
I feel like a dick. Let me give you my goggles. So my dad tries to ski with these on. He can't fucking do it. So he skis with backwards, snow fucking hurling into his eyeballs. 1 full hour passes.
Fuck, dude.
We are lost.
And also, I remember the story. Meanwhile, Nana went to the...
Yeah.
But she doesn't go skiing, right? She's sitting at the lodge, and she's just waiting.
She's waiting.
But
she's chilling.
An hour goes by, and now she's going, okay, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, something is wrong.
So Nana is now afraid as well. So it's a two-parter, like two entities.
Yeah,
to the story.
there's a different perspective. It's like Apollo 13. We are trekking through the woods like it's fucking Star Wars, and like
Hoth.
It's like Hoth, and I'm like, oh my god, because no longer are we on the mountainy part. It's just flat. We're doing basically cross country skiing.
Did you at any point say, can't get worse than this?
I don't think I did. But the thing that happened, it's from Ben 10 that I took that from, admittedly. The problem was, with me at this time, I'm 7. So I don't have enough leg strength to constantly be pushing myself through cross-country snow. So
Because also at that point it's probably powder mostly.
It's only powder.
So you're going through it. You're not on top of it anymore.
Yeah, I don't have the strength. So my dad comes up behind me. He will push me forward. I go forward like 5 feet, and then he's like just skiing up to me and push again. Another 45 fucking minutes pass. We are finally.
He's a goat for that. Honestly,
my dad was a great. Like it was
At
a
that
stressful
moment,
thing.
He
It was great.
really went Papa Bear.
My
for
dad
that.
really took care of us.
How was your
there.
mom doing during this?
It was a nightmare for everyone.
Yeah, okay. I've never heard your mom's perspective of this story.
We get down to the base of the mountain. We're getting into the lodge. We walk up, and Nana comes up to us, and she's like, "What?" And then my mom just goes, "Do not talk to me right now." And we get some food. I don't even eat the food. I'm like on my dad's lap, and I just fall asleep because I'm exhausted. So we get out, and the storm is lifting up. So we get into our car. We start going down the mountain. As we're going down the mountain, I'm watching Ben 10. And then apparently what happened during this time was someone had stopped on the middle of the road to put chains on. So my dad had to screech to a stop so that he wouldn't hit this car. But as we were there, our car started slowly sifting down the mountain towards it until they connected. And the guy was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Why are you putting chains on right here? You could have done this at a less inconvenient place."
we couldn't stop, dude. We're literally on ice.
So we just had to go around, and then
I think there's
we got
also
down
part of the
mountain.
story to where your mom had to go pee.
Yeah, that's the next part. We
Okay.
were in bumper to bumper traffic, trying to get back to our rental house, and my mom was like, "I can't hold my pee anymore." I saw 7-Eleven a little bit back, so she gets out of the car. She's running through the snow like a deer.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets to the 7-Eleven, they say, "We do not have a bathroom." And she's like, "Of fucking course you don't." So she has to go around the back of it and pee outside and just desperately hope no one sees her. And then as she's coming back, the stoplight that we've finally reached turns green. And she's fucking going like an Olympic sprinter to get back to us.
Through the snow.
Through the snow. She gets in. She's exhausted. Everyone's exhausted. But we got home and we survived a blizzard. And that is how you fucking tell a story on a podcast about skiing that was initially supposed to exclusively about monsters. Thank you all so much for watching this week's episode of the Cade and Joaquin podcast. If you liked what you saw, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on the other places you can subscribe to
Give us
it.
a 5-star rating of your application of choice.
Yep, do that. Especially on YouTube. Go use the Wayback Machine to the point where they still had 5 stars on YouTube.
Yes.
And do it that way. That's our preferred method. It really helps with engagement.
Mhm.
Leave a comment about what cryptid is your favorite cryptid.
Put notification bell on whatever your choice application or platform is to
Yeah,
know when we
so that
upload
you know
a new episode.
When that happens, and also be careful, because if that fucking thing that feels like it's getting into your bed is in your room, you are gonna have something in your bed.
It will be me
It's gonna be
with
us.
olive oil.
Bom 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 bom.
Oh, bow, bow, bow.
Cade and Joaquin are wet in your bedroom, slipping around, touching your butt.
No, we're not.